Yep. Well, there you go, fellas. That's the sand. It's very similar to the sand in there. You know, it's hard to tell it apart, basically. So, very similar. I've melted the full slot, as we do, the full 6mm slot. Kept myself a fly wire disc. Yeah, it's not alive, you believe it, sort of thing. Geez, our politicians on today, almost you know, sort of putting the lie that everything that Labor did in the past is their idea, and Julia Gillard had nothing to do with Gonski. Now they're saying it's all like power prices in Sydney have not gone up $1,000. It's probably more likely $2,000. You know, yeah, dog queues are getting shorter, people are standing closer together, sort of garbage. So anyway, so the idea is to probably, let's get it on the tripod. It's always better on the tripod, isn't it, fellas? You know, you get the full eagle-eyed view. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like that with the CPs. And this idea that they're eating the insects for the nitrogen, sort of thing. See, how long is that going to last? That sort of, it's not a delusion if they believe it, sort of thing. So you get a picture that grows in 9 days, and within that 9 days it's totally sealed, of course, so it can't be capturing any insects. So you got to say, well, where is the nitrogen for the growth coming from? Oh, it's coming from the rhizome. And you say, well, I've even got little seedling plants doing the same thing, running at the same sort of speed, sort of thing. And then they say, and then they say, well, then they talk about large rhizomes, and they say, well, you know, if I cover all the pitches with some muslin to keep the insects out, by the end of the season, where's all the energy from the rhizome gone? How come the rhizome has actually got bigger, and how come over winter, when there are few insects about and basically all the pitches are carked, the actual rhizome fattens up? Where's the nitrogen coming from then, for the fattening up process? If there's few insects about and the pitches aren't really functional. I mean, these are the basic Darwin questions, the questions that Darwin would ask, and they seem to be avoiding these sort of basic questions like the plague, sort of thing, you know. Yeah, like the plague. Anyway, so we'll see how we go. So the idea here is to get it up to the 9 litre mark, basically. And then we'll put the peas on it, and then we'll saturate it again, you know, do the old, 3.6 litres. And why is that relevant? Because with this sort of sand, and over the past, usually this sort of sand will take about half its volume, or just under half its volume, as water. So you've got like 10 litres, you should add 5 litres of water. So 3.6 is getting on to 4 litres, but it was already damp sand, so you can see the after mathematics does tend to add up. Now I've got to get it to where's the marking on the pot. I'm looking for the 9 litre. Here we go. There's the line. I'm trying to find the actual marking. I think that's where it is. On the bucket. Or is this a bucket that... No, I think that's a marking. I'm looking for the 9 litre marking, which is usually closer to the top than you think it is. Because there's a 10 litre bucket, so if you fill it right to the edge there, you'll get to the full... We are in shot. I mean, I haven't moved it out of... sort of. Okay. So somewhere here on the edge, fellas, I don't know if you can see that, but there's a marking. It says 10 at the top, then 9 there. So one more handful, I think, of this. And we should basically give enough space to put the peas right. Put the peas right to the... I'm just going to have to use experience, fellas, I think. Can't quite see the... So it's basically a centimetre, I think, at the top there. And one more handful, I think, by experience. and we'll just spread that out and put it around, and then we'll saturate it with the 3.6 litres, and then it will shrink down. The peas will go down about 1.5 inches. That'll be enough to put our double flushes through, sort of thing. And we'll try something out. I mean, I still don't think it's high enough, because I think these peas definitely going to cover that too easily, I think. Anyway, maybe it's better to err on the side of caution. I don't know. Here we go, fellas. The big reveal. It's going to shrink down, fellas. So. There we go. And of course, there's a lot of water. There's some water in here as well, so you know, it's gonna. So I think the idea of putting a leader on there is probably a bit generous. So maybe 750 mils of peas. But then again, these haven't defrosted; they might sink down and all settle in, sort of thing. So it's a try, fellas. That's what I'm saying. I mean, can you imagine if this is equal or better than peat, and all you're buying is cheap sand and cheap peas, because peas are mass produced, of course, you see. And maybe the peas have all the nutrients that the peas want, including some of the trace elements that supposedly they're supposed to have, like molybdenum. If you go back and read some of the mysteries of the bog forest, I think it's called, or swamp forest, mysteries of the swamp forest or something, it's mentioned in there. I think molybdenum and one other element or something other. Probably a substitute for manganese, as we've probably said in the past. Okay, well that's about it. I now just have to find a place to set it up, and maybe over there somewhere. Maybe I could turn the wheelbarrow upside down and place it on that sort of thing. I don't know. We might get a rusty bottom, flutter on the bottom sort of thing. So anyway, I'll think about it and we'll see how we go. Okay, over and out for now.